Hey guys, Jack here. Um, Today was kind of interesting. Guess you could have 20-cent dealers now, but I guess I can talk about that more tomorrow in an extra video, but normal schedule will be just every week on this day. However, that's not what the topic of today is. Today's topic is overpay on floats.
Cringe.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild thing, isn't it? Um, right now I don't think I can buy anything because of how Steam being kind of wonky, but oh, nope, I can. Okay, cool. What did I even buy? Oh, the Jungle Dash. Whatever. It is what it is. But actually, that brings a good thing because my friend, my good friend here, my good buddy, old pal buddy, he um he has some pretty good prices. You know who else has some pretty good prices? I have some pretty good prices. You know what isn't a good price? This. And that's kind of what the topic right now is for this because uh, there's a lot of people on FloatDB who tend to have very poor listings for prices. Like this, this is all right. It's understandable. This same thing. It's all right. It's fair. This is all right and fair. But it's like when you get to the weird ones, like I think earlier I saw. Well, this one's fair. It's 4 nines, which we'll get into all that later, which is explaining what floats are and everything, and how you can really get overpay on it. But let's see. I should be able to find it if I scroll down enough. But if I can't, we'll use my OG as an example where I'm actually just gonna edit this to 6969.69. That way we can use that as a reference of what a bad price is and what a good price is. But to give you an explanation of exactly why this for this skin would be a bad price and everything, we have to go do a fast rundown of essentially everything that goes into floats. And even though this has been rank one for like 4 years at this point, why having an AUG go for $7,000 be terrible? Because it's like, in retrospect, not understanding everything about floats, the first thing you got to understand is that there's two different float caps. uh, you have your low floats and your high floats. I am dealing high floats, so if there's any low floats that I point at, my prices are going to be fairly off. So don't ask me about low floats. Please, God, no, don't. Don't come to me for price checks for low floats. Dear Lord, I would hate that. Oh, here's a bad example actually, since we're looking at it. But so essentially, what floats are is whenever you open a case or a souvenir crate or just whatever the fuck, it doesn't really matter. There is an automatically generated number that the case would give for that skin. So someone had to have been, and on the high float end of things, someone had to have been lucky enough to unbox a high float or a low float, and then people, as time goes on, would specifically for low floats because it's a different story for high floats, but for low floats, you can trade up to something extremely expensive with those low floats over over time. And holy shit, I wish today I wasn't fucked. Oh man. Uh, I've been to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times, and Jesus Christ, do I feel like shit. But I'm still handling it. I'm still pushing this out because content. Nah. But after after you get the understanding of like the basics, which is that, then you have to go through the whole rigmarole of essentially what's the overpay on the skins. Well, it can range on the float value. For instance, this is a double nine covert, which on a regular basis, if it wasn't an AUG Aki Hopper except, let's say, just a normal covert with a double nine and that's rank one, from a newer collection, it would probably be worth around, like if it's $10, it would probably be worth around 50, 60, if that. And the reason why I say that is because it has a very high and likely chance of being beat as time goes on. But the Agaki Habara, it's an exception because it's been a discontinued collection that we haven't seen in I don't know how long. I don't really want to estimate or guesstimate on it because I was never in CSGO when the skin came about. But what we can surely say is age definitely does have a factor in skins. Most people don't realize it, but age does come into a factor. Um, what also comes into the factor, especially for higher or low float skins, is let's say I go to the database and I go to like highest float skins or lowest float skins. Something like this, even if it's a gator mesh, people would look at this and be like, "Oh, I wanna buy this," but the asking price for this would normally be ex like it it would be expensive. A good example is pretty much this one right here. This hasn't sold, but when it did sell, I don't know why I said sold. When it did sell last time, which was back in 2019, it sold for about $600 is what I heard. And so even if it's not worth 1.2, we do have on record that it has sold previously for 600. And no, I don't have float premium because I'm a fucking schmuck. Um, I'm a real Sheckelstein, if you will. Uh, that might be offensive to some, but I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. Mm, I hate being canceled, drama and everything, but um, essentially, essentially, when it comes to these skins, what you want to look for is definitely more zeros and more nines, as I showed you earlier, because the more zeros and the more nines, the more the skin is worth itself. But then then there's other factors as well. For instance, let's say this clock fade. Recently, Initmate bought Sparkle's rank 1 Glock Fade lowest float, and if I had to guess, it was probably 5, 6 grand, whatever Sparkles had it listed for, because I think Init spent like 30 grand on all the items that he bulk bought from him. But essentially, for the Glock Fade, Uh, pattern matters because let's say we look at the rank one, and it's like 70-80% the worst float pattern, so there's not really much blue or much of really any color. It's just a bad pattern in itself for the fade. But if it's a really good pattern where it's like 100% fade and rank one, you're looking at overpay for the float and for the pattern itself, which is very nice. Another example of things as well is for most of the time, and this is actually a good example, most of the time whenever you see a rank 6, a rank 5, or a rank 4, um, yeah, you get overpay. You can get overpay on pretty much anything that's around 100, but from rank 100 all the way to rank 6, you're looking at a range of like 10 cents to $5 like this. And the reason why I say that is because the float value in itself, like let's say this was like rank 6, it could be like rank 100 overall and it would still get a decent amount of overpay. Or just in general, there's so many things that you can do about it. Not to mention, um, the amount of overpay that people normally do on these is extraordinary. Uh, I know the rank 1 D-Lore uh, originally sold, the one that Frankfurter made, originally sold for 30 grand, and that's a lot of money. But that also shows you that floats in the low float range can actually go for a shit ton of money. And it should actually open people's eyes, but it doesn't. I know it's a very niche market, but The thing about niche markets, especially if you're an investor, is niche markets are the thing you want to get into. Like CSGO in itself is a niche market. It's very versatile in what you can invest in, but getting like niche, like essentially what you're interested in, like whether it's a loadout, whether it's a specific skin you like, just whatever you're into is essentially how you should invest in skins or how I view investing in skins. If you like something, you buy it. And that's pretty much just how it is. And a lot of people like a lot of skins, so certain skins are more expensive than others, certain skins have been going up than others, and it's just it's a good market, but I feel like people look at a like battle scarred or whatever and they're like, "Oh, it's disgusting." But if I go like in game or if I show you my AUG, it's like sure you may say it's ugly or whatever, but like there's so much character to this that's just as worthy as like a low float skin. It's just it doesn't have the same appeal because it's scratched. And for some reason scratch skins always have these negative appeals. But what I can tell you is I've been doing this for half a year now, and in that half a year, I've learned so much about floats. I've learned about patterns. I've learned about everything just because of floats. And it's wild to think about that because it's like originally I wouldn't think about floats. I wouldn't think about stickers. I wouldn't think about the majority of this stuff. But it's like it's out there and you actually can make money this way. It's just it's more of a long-term investment. And I think that's what mostly deters people away from this. I mean, one day it might not be a short-term investment where people can buy it and then flip it like a week later. I mean, I wouldn't know how to predict that, but it's like floats have such a unique sense to them that they're one in a kind. Whether it's the number one lowest float or whether it's the number one highest float, you know for certain you have a skin that is I'm not going to use superior because there's skins that are much better than float skins. I mean, we're looking at like some of my inventory, like this M249, and then we go straight to like my expensive AUGs, or like this crap that I did on my rank 1, which I believe is like rank 5 overall for highest CZ. But at the end of the day, it's like there's so much that you guys can get into when it comes to float. And not to mention, there could be high float skins. Like for instance, this Amber Fade, even though it's well worn, there's only 256 Mac 10 Amber Fades well worn that exist, and I have one of them that's rank 2. And you're probably sitting there and being like, "Oh, well, why is it $25?" Well, because it's worth $25. It's extremely rare. Getting a rank 1 or getting a rank 2 would be hard. And even what mind boggles me is it's from a collection that's been around for ages, since the dawn of age, since the dawn of man, and yet in CS:GO's terms, there's only 256 of these. And so right where the float cap is, like if we go here real quick and we see the float cap, because I actually gotta click this so we could see it. It's right on the brink of well worn. It's right where well worn starts. So it makes it extremely hard to get this. And I've been trying to get the rank 1 because it's 999. I mean, if it's been all this time and no one could get a 999, then I want it. It's a skin I've been trying to get for ever since I found out about this skin because if we go to, well, this is normal, so I should be able to see it. Well worn, well worn. There we go, field tested. So 155 are just normal well worns, and that's for the normal one. If we go to souvenir, though, I believe it's like 96 or something. I could have my math slightly off, but don't worry about that. But for just the well worn version of the skin, there's not many. Wow, there's a few unboxed. There's two unboxed recently. Okay. Because before it was like at 96 or 97, but now it's like 98, 99. So that's good. That's good. There's more of these being unboxed, but it's like with the millions of people just constantly going through um, playing Mirage and they don't get a well-worn drop, it just it's mind-boggling, mind-boggling and dumbfounded. And then there's only 7,000 of these, and 7,000 of these, only 99 of these are well-worn Mac 10s. And it's like there's
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it.
okay, I'm gonna stop rambling because I'm getting a bit far and getting off the beaten path. But at least now you have an understanding that this is where like all the floats come into. If I had to properly price check, what was that M4 that we saw? Uh, yeah, so I need to scroll down a bit. But that M4 that we saw, if I keep
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
keep scrolling down, because it should be here, unless I'm blind again. Yeah, I'm blind. So this M4 right here, it's a double nine. It's a print stream. It's battle scarred. It's rank one. I can see this being beat in like a month because of how floats and unboxing works, and how I've seen people literally lose money constantly because of them buying skins a bit too early when it comes to floats. But this one in particular, if I had to price check this, but before I end the video off, if I had to price check this, this skin would be in total around 100, 150-ish. And the reason why I price check it at that is because um, it doesn't have a very desirable float. The float's only 0.799. If it got a triple or quad 9, it would definitely be worth a lot more, but nowhere near what this is listed at. Um, and also another thing about FloatDB is you'll see listings like this, and I don't want you, and I'm glad it's private inventory, because if it wasn't, then I wouldn't want you guys to start giving that person hate, because um, there are people like, uh, and I will name drop uh, Rigby, one of my friends, McLaren, one of my friends. Sometimes they'll have meme listings where the number is astronomical, and it's like that's not what it's actually worth. It's just these are skins that they don't want to part ways with, so they put like an astronomical amount, because it's understandable if a skin has sentiment value to you and you buy it and you get really lucky, you want to hold on to it, and you don't want to sell it. But what most people do is once it hits that rank 2, they're like, oh man, now I gotta get the rank 1. And so they pretty much put the price that they normally would go for, because, well, they don't want the skin anymore. And that's what tends to happen. But don't don't sell rank 2s or rank 3s short, man. I may like my rank 1s, but those rank 2s and 3s, every day. Every day. Those things are like, fucking delicious. But I think that's all for me today. Hopefully you guys got an understanding of overpaying for floats. Uh, maybe you don't have a full understanding, and maybe next week, whatever your questions may be in the comments, I can pretty much answer those, or you can catch me on live streaming Minecraft on Twitch. Because to be honest, I've been getting really into hardcore Minecraft and then also jogging. So I think after this video gets uploaded, uh, an hour after the video gets uploaded, I'm gonna go for a jog and then probably go live an hour after that. So around 4 p.m. my time, which 4:30, which is 4 p.m. EST. But yeah, hopefully I'm your favorite CS:GO femboy. If not, that's cool. That's great. I don't care. Hope you have a great, fantastic day. And don't lose money. An awkward intro. Bye.